All right. What is going on, guys? We are live. Okay. Welcome to my first live stream on YouTube. I am so excited. So I wanted to do this, 2 weeks ago, and I thought I could do it on my phone, but I didn't know until last minute. I should have checked sooner. That's my fault. So I looked on my phone and I realized, wait a second. I can't go on the live stream anymore because they changed the features. You used to originally go up on your phone and be able to do it. I mean, what the heck, YouTube? What is up with that? First, you let us do it on the phone, and then now you change the update, and we have to go by these new procedures. I mean, come on, make up your mind. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna save that for another time. I'm not gonna go completely on a rant. So yeah, all right. Now, so for today's video, I kind of wanted to start it off with, we got some really sad news today that, great rock legend, Little Richard passed away. And God, it's hard to believe because I feel like, it's the end of an era. I mean, for me, losing, somebody like this, for rock legend, of course, I can imagine how this feels like maybe when somebody loses, an athlete that they love, famous athlete. For me, this is like losing the president, honestly, because Little Richard is the eighth. I consider there are 8 pioneers of rock and roll, and of course that's Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Elvis, Buddy Holly, Bill Haley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Bo Diddley, and Fats Domino. Those are my 8 rock and roll pioneers. And now they're all gone except Jerry Lee Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis is the only one that's still alive. And who knows? I did see he was doing a video about the whole coronavirus thing with his wife. So yeah, he's still, I don't know, I think it's possible that he's gonna make a new album. A friend of mine told me that he might be making a new album, so that's possible. Do we have anybody join? Oh, Anthony joined. Oh, hey Anthony, what's up? And it's crazy just because it's losing. Of course he was 87, so of course he lived a long life, but it's still upsetting because it's just because it's really an important part of rock and roll, and I feel like some people who listen to music don't really understand how much these guys pioneered the way for rock and roll. These were the people that the Beatles looked up to. This was just this was just honestly, these were people that did so much for this music and generations to follow. Little Richard had influence from the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Prince, so many people. He influenced. Little Richard too. Little Richard and Jerry Lee Lewis were of course the wild piano players, and stuff like that. And they were both the counterparts in the sense like that. Of course, Little Richard went, would definitely go wild with his piano playing. And of course, Little Richard's famous songs, were Tutti Frutti, Long Tall Sally. And I really got into Little Richard when the reason how I really got into him was how I really got into the 50s music and really was in love with it is, I might have said this on the John Lennon rock and roll video, was I really got into more of rock and roll of the 50s style was when when I saw the Buddy Holly Story movie. And it opened the world for me for new music, and that's how I got into Elvis, Little Richard, Chuck Berry. And I was just there's a whole world of music out there. And the thing that was cool is I feel at the time with me, most people in my school weren't listening to that stuff. I thought it was cool that the only one listened to it. But I feel why is nobody else listening to it? Because it's classic music. It's just how could you not listen to it and not fall in love with it? I would just sit in my room for hours watching clips of keep rewatching clips of Little Richard on certain of the rock and roll movies they had in the 50s, Don't Knock the Rock, where he did an appearance of Tutti Frutti and Long Tall Sally, and he did a really good job on that stuff. And I love that so much, honestly, and it's really a shame he's gone. We lost Chuck Berry and Fats Domino we lost Chuck Berry 3 years ago and almost Fats Domino 3 years ago in October of 2017. It's funny, Fats Domino died actually the same day my Grandpa Joe died actually, and so Fats Domino and Chuck Berry did for a few years now, and also now now Little Richard's gone. And it's so weird too because I was talking to a friend of mine about Little Richard, and he was telling me how in the '90s, it was like the first time I remember Little Richard was seeing him in Sesame Street when he did the Rubber Ducky song, in the bathtub. When I was little, I was like, I freaked out. I was like, there's a guy in a bathtub with a piano. I'm like, oh my god, And my friend was telling me that actually. He also sang the Magic School Bus theme song, actually, and apparently he had this little kid phase in the '90s where he did like some little kid stuff, and like I think he did like a few kids albums and stuff like that. And no, I mean he was an incredible musician, and definitely. I mean, like one of the biggest pioneers, honestly, you'll find. I mean, it's really, it's a true loss. And the one thing too is with all the sad tragedies we've had in music, I guess it's some, some, satisfaction and relief in a sense that some of these musicians, were able to die of old age and not of, drug addiction or early on. Of course it's sad that they're gone, but at least they were able to live a long life, and that's what the best is. And yeah, all right, so let's look at the comments. Okay, so all right, so Ryan's on. Hey Ryan. Okay, so yeah, Anthony. Oh, we also got we got Tyler on as well. Yeah, he said that friend who told you that would be me. Yeah, it was you, Tyler. You were the one that told me that. Yeah. And yeah, loved Fats. Yeah. I found my thrill. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. Oh my God, yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, God, I mean, if people haven't listened to 50s music, you got to listen to it. It's a whole new world out there. And I know the people who are on this stream, are huge fans of that music too. So it's like, yeah, right. He was on Full House. I remember that Full House episode. I watched Full House a little bit, and I remember seeing that scene of him on Full House, and stuff like that. Yeah, the Full House also had like the Beach Boys on and stuff like that. So yeah, and oh God, so yeah. All right, so that is my tribute to Little Richard. Rest in peace. You will be missed. We love your music, and your music will always live on, and your legacy will live on. All right, let's see. My favorite Fat song is Ain't That a Shame. Oh yeah, Ain't That a Shame is great. Yeah. Oh, Ain't That a Shame? Shame is a classic. I mean, it's really like you made me cry, when you said goodbye. Ain't that a shame? Yeah, no, I love that. It's great. And yeah, no. So yeah. So welcome to this live stream, and now we are in, I believe, around almost like the 50th or close to the 60th day of the coronavirus. And, we're in our homes, being in quarantine and stuff like that. And, I mean, of course it's crazy, and, we all want to just go out and, enjoy life and, watch movies, see sports games or, like go to live shows and, see our YouTubers or see talk shows in their studios and stuff like that, and of course, it's not happening and stuff like that. And, and all these events are canceled and stuff like that. I'm at my last year at my community college, and I'm going to be going off to Oswego. So it's upsetting for me that I'm not going to be able to, my last semester ended this way, in a sense. But, and like it's things being in quarantine and stuff like that. But, if we can flatten the curve and, keep people safe and, help our healthcare workers. We don't want to get our healthcare workers more in danger by getting more people sick with coronavirus, And, I just want to shout out to all the amazing healthcare workers out there. You've done a fantastic job, and we thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. You are the ones that are carrying us through this, and, God bless you. And yeah, all right, so let's see the live streams. All right. Oh yeah, happy day 58. Okay, yeah. Hey Brian. All right, so let's see. All right. Let's look at the comments. Very great. Oh, my favorite is the Fat Man of Fats Domino. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That was like his first hit, Fats Domino. It was like in 1949. Yeah, that's a good one. And yeah, all right. Yeah. His most underrated is Rising Sun. It gives me chills. Rising Sun. I don't think I ever heard that one. Oh, I've been, yeah. Oh, Ryan, you're saying okay, yeah. I've been on a real Doors kick lately. Oh God, yeah, the Doors. I gotta get more into them because of course, I was into them. Like when I started getting into '50s music, I actually started getting more into the Doors and Jimi Hendrix as well. And so like I honestly gotta get back into the Doors and Jimi Hendrix. And I mean, it'd be great, honestly, on my channel to even when I listen to more Doors and Jimi Hendrix, to even talk more about their music and stuff like that. Because I love them and love them. They're great music. I mean, Jim Morrison definitely all the way. Yeah. Thoughts on the Doors? Yeah, I mean the Doors. I mean, oh my God. I mean, there's just like, I mean, of course, there's so many great frontmen of the '60s. I mean, of course, you got like Mick Jagger and stuff like that. I mean, Roger Daltrey from the Who. But there's something about Jim Morrison that is, different. And the thing that's about him is like he's got like a mystic presence, and the way he sings in his low, deep voice, the way he talks and all that stuff, like the way he sings and stuff like that, and the way he just got so wild in his music. Like, of course, like I remember watching, because when I was little, I mean, my dad would always, whenever the Doors would play like Light My Fire, my dad was saying, hey, this is a really good song. This is by Jim Morrison. You should really listen to this. So I really, then got more into them in middle school and listened to them. And I remember, like, I think my dad was proud that I was actually listening to the Doors, because I was like listening to it on my phone. He goes like, are you listening to the Doors, Tom? I mean, that's great. And he was so happy because, my dad was a huge Doors fan too. And, of course, when Jim Morrison and, Jimi Hendrix both died at the age of 27. And, also the member of the Doors, from the keyboard player, Ray Manzarek, died about almost 7 years ago. That's upsetting too, and of course, yeah, like they didn't have a bass player. There was like the drummer and the guitar player. I can't remember their names. But like, yeah, if you guys know their names, you can put them in the comments and stuff like that. No. So the Doors, just like Light My Fire. I like Touch Me. That's a great song. Yeah. Hello, can I jump in your game? Love Her Madly. That's I mean, they have a good one. I mean, Riders on the Storm is also pretty good as well. What song has the Doors did? Well, like I said, like Light My Fire, Touch Me, People Are Strange. They had a lot of good ones, yeah. And like Love Her Madly, like Light My Fire was their biggest one. And especially the funniest thing was when they were on the Ed Sullivan Show, and they did Light My Fire, and apparently Ed Sullivan was telling them that they couldn't use the line "Girl, we couldn't get much higher." They had to change that line. And Jim Morrison was like, screw it, I'm not going to do that. So he sent the line, and apparently after, it was a furious thing with Ed Sullivan, and they said like, you will never play on the Ed Sullivan Show again. And Jim Morrison was like, well, we just did the Ed Sullivan Show, so it was like that. And of course, like at that, like Ed Sullivan, like with certain songs that came on, he didn't like certain. He felt like there was certain controversy in songs, and people were ridiculous with like some of the controversy with that song. I mean, come on. I mean, I think some of this stuff would be okay today. Like, for instance, like with the Rolling Stones, when they were on the Ed Sullivan Show, they didn't want them to say "Let's spend the night together." They had to change it to "Let's spend some time together." Really? And like you could see when like they perform that, and when they change that line, Mick Jagger is like like rolling his eyes like, yeah, and Bill Wyman, the bass player, is also doing that too. And yeah. Okay. So yeah, Zeppelin. Oh yeah, Led Zeppelin. I love Led Zeppelin too. I got to get more into their music and listen to more of their albums. I mean, I love Stairway to Heaven. Black Dog is good. Rock and Roll, Whole Lot 11 and stuff like that. They definitely have a lot of, I mean, the thing that's good about them is they were a real powerhouse. Of course, Robert Plant, great lead vocalist, Jimmy Page, one of the greatest guitarists. I mean, he's probably, I guess Jimmy Page would probably be up there as one of the greatest guitarists, up with Hendrix and, of course, Eric Clapton as well and stuff like that. So, yeah, let's see. I'm glad you gave a shout out to the working people during the pandemic. If there's a song that's dedicated to them, it's "Salt of the Earth" by Rolling Stones. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So I don't actually know that song. I actually got to listen to that song. And okay, on "L.A. Woman," Jim requested to use Jerry Sheff, Elvis's bass from 1971. Oh, right, Ryan, you told me that. Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Let's see. I love the Ed Sullivan Show story. Oh yeah, that story, and a fantastic story. Yeah, I remember the Stone story too. Yeah. Okay, sucks we have to wait longer for the new Elvis biopic. Oh yeah. Oh God, I know. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait longer for that. Yeah, because that was supposed to be scheduled in 2021, and I'm like a little like honestly, kind of. I don't know what to to make. I'm a little nervous about this biopic to begin with, honestly. And Ryan, I know we talked about this before. Okay, so when they had like cast him, like Brian, you told me like who was being casted for it, like who they were thinking of, like Harry Styles. I think what's his name from Fault in Our Stars, Baby Driver, Ensign. I forget his last name. And then, of course, they have Austin Butler, and, of course, Austin Butler got the role. I mean, at first I was like, wait a second, you're getting Austin Butler? Because I feel like this was the guy on Zoe 101. This was the guy who, if you don't know who Austin Butler was, he was in Zoe 101 on the last season. And he played, like, the main character. He played the character James, who was only on for, like, a few episodes, but he was, like, a main character, like for a little bit. And he was, like, the dullest character in the show. I'm like, this is who you get? Because, like, I'll be honest, like, I thought, like, at first, he's just a preboy. Like that, it's ridiculous that he's going to be Elvis. I mean, there's no way. And then, of course, I saw you black hair, and people think, "Oh, he looks like Elvis." I'm like, I can't say that he looks like Elvis, but like the funniest thing I will say is that he is definitely. And the thing that is good with Austin Butler too is because he's not a huge like movie star. I would say, he's like, he's getting up there. Like for instance, like with the movie he did, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This was like a big movie for him this year with the Quentin Tarantino movie. He played Tex Watson, one person of the Manson family. And when I saw the interview clip of him, he actually was talking like Elvis. You could tell he's getting prepared for Elvis. And I was like, looking at him, I'm like, is it just me, or is he really like trying to be Elvis? Is he trying to channel his Elvis? And people in the comments were saying the same thing. That's what everybody was saying on the comments of that video, was like he's really getting ready to play Elvis. And hey, he might do a good job. And apparently I heard he's also gonna be singing. I mean, I don't know. It was a little kind of like, I get why they're doing an Elvis biopic, because it will be like the first theatrical release, because they've done other ones, for like a TV show, for like TV movies and stuff like that. And of course they had the one with the guy with Jonathan Rhys Meyers, and like, oh god, I hated that one. I thought that was like really stupid. First of all, he didn't even look like Elvis. And but the best Elvis biopic, I would say, is the Kurt Russell one in 1971, directed by John Carpenter. If anybody could play Elvis, Kurt Russell could. And I mean, like, the thing that's so funny about that too is that like Kurt Russell honestly also the thing that was so funny is that like with the Forrest Gump movie, when they had the character when they had Elvis in as a character, and of course that's a stupid storyline how he got his moves from Forrest Gump, but that's a whole different story. But anyway, but they had him voice like Elvis, so it just shows you how good he was with the voice. Kurt Russell, he wasn't the one that was singing though. That was Ronnie McDowell, his name was, and he was actually he actually really channeled Elvis well. And I remember I listened to him, I'm like, God, it really sounds like Elvis. And like my mom was saying the same thing too, like when she heard him, like, is that Elvis? Because that really sounds like him. And he did a good job. But with the new Elvis movie, I mean, I'm interested to see what they're going to do. It's theatrical release. I mean, it is interesting to see how they're doing. Like, Tom Hanks will be Colonel Tom Parker. At first, I didn't know what to make of it because, like, listen, I love Tom Hanks. He's like my favorite actor. But it's just like, I'm wondering, like, if he could play a Colonel Tom Parker, if he could play Colonel Tom Parker, because that's a really tough role to play because he's such an important figure in Elvis's life. I just find it like really, hard to really, play that. And at first I thought like, oh, please don't make this like a whole all-star cast. So in a sense, I think it might be good that they have Austin Butler. I mean, I don't think it would have been good if they had Harry Styles, to be honest with you. I don't think, I mean, I know they were saying they were thinking to have Miles Teller, which maybe he would have been a good choice. He might have not been that bad. All right, let's see the comments. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, James from 21. Yeah. Tom Hanks, who was playing Colonel, still has COVID. Oh, yeah. Does he still have it? I thought he was recovering from it with him and his wife, Rita, Rita Wilson. Let's see. Kurt did the best one. Yeah. In my opinion. But Elvis never really had a serious biopic. This upcoming biopic is overdue. Me Too. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Wait, which one? Me Too. It was terrible. Okay. Elvis would probably help Butler's comeback career, especially after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The Jonathan Myers one was trash. Yes, thank you, Ryan. I hated that one. Also, I got to finish the Kurt Russell film. Oh, yeah, I got to finish that. I got to show you that, Brian. Yeah, I'm definitely showing you that. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Don't forget Kurt Russell also kicked Elvis in the shin when he was a kid. That's true. Yeah. Kurt Russell's actually first appearance in like a movie was actually Elvis's movie. It all happened at the World's Fair, and yeah, he plays the scene where he kicked Elvis in the shin because like Elvis like in the scene where he like I guess wants to impress a girl and he says like, okay, can you kick me in the shin? He's like, if I kick you in the shin, so he kicks him in the shin, and then like I was like, thanks, man, and then like like he goes away and Kurt Russell's line like, adults, they're all nuts. Like yeah, nuts. Yeah. I remember I saw that scene. I haven't seen the movie, but I know that scene. I think that movie that's the one that has Devil in Disguise. I think. Well, Ryan, I think you can back me up with that one. Yeah. Oh, only a very few people can do that. Yeah, well, yeah. Fun fact: Kurt Russell was featured in "It Happened at the World's Fair." He kicked Elvis. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that was yeah. Tom Hanks can play any kind of character, so I'm not worried. Yeah, I'm not worried. It's Tom Hanks. I mean, he'll do a good job, and stuff like that. And no, I'm not worried. I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, like it's so fun. I mean, I think it's good that they're doing a biopic on Elvis, and especially with the biopics they've been doing, like Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, Elton John's Rocketman. I mean, like it shows you that they're really trying to do these biopics. And of course, we've had some great biopics in the past in the 2000s, like with Johnny Cash's Walk the Line, Ray Charles's Ray. That's a really good one. But the problem with biopics I have when you do that is, okay, I know it's a movie and it's entertainment, but it really does drive me nuts when there is a fact wrong. Especially when I feel like a fact that you can easily just Google online. Like that's what really drives me crazy. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, the Buddy Holly story. Yeah, that was like the first music biopic I ever watched. And the one thing I love about the Buddy Holly story is that the problem is though it did get like I love the movie. I think it's the most entertaining film. I was watching it a few weeks ago. I'll still love it. I mean, I've had hate for a while because I felt like, like I've had some because I realized a lot of the stuff in the movie was fake. Like not a lot of it was real and it wasn't true to his story. So I think that honestly, like they really do need another Buddy Holly movie. I think that would be a really great if they could do that. I mean, of course they had the Broadway play, the real Buddy Holly story. And I actually, they had the play for a while and they actually had it in a town of mine that I actually got to see, with my dad, and it was good. But I was like, my dad knew I had some complaints because of course they got some facts wrong, and it's a musical, so they added stuff different. Like, of course, the thing that drives me nuts is how like they have the Winter Dance Party in the musical. They have this whole big band and everything, almost like like how Elvis and like when he performs in Vegas. Buddy Holly, like a true fact is with the Winter Dance Party. Even the Buddy Holly story, they got it wrong. They have like this whole big band behind Buddy Holly in the Winter Dance Party. Like the only people that were behind him in Buddy Holly's in Buddy Holly's band in Winter Dance Party was actually future country star Waylon Jennings, guitar player Tommy Allsup, and drummer Carl Bunch. But actually, Carl Bunch actually got frostbite because with the tour it was so cold that he got frostbite. Because the other people that were on the act, of course, were Richie Valens, Big Bopper, but they also had Dion and the Belmonts. So one of the Belmonts actually filled in as the drummer actually for the rest of the sets. And actually, when Dion and the Belmonts played, though, the person who was drumming actually was Buddy Holly, actually. And I mean, that's really, you never get like a crazier story than that. Like Buddy Holly playing drums for Dion and the Belmonts. I mean, that's that's really cool. And I feel like they really need to capture that in a Buddy Holly movie. Like with the new Buddy Holly movie, I think like you got to capture something like that. You got to capture something that's real. You can't capture like a musical because that's what I had a problem with Rocketman too. Because I was so excited about the Elton John biopic, but I didn't like how they did it in a musical. I mean, like it's cool style with like Broadway, like trying to do it like a Broadway style. I get it, but I feel like with a music biopic, you got to keep it real. You got to make it, you can't make it too fantasy. I mean, I know Elton John's different because, Elton John loves being avant-garde and being spontaneous with his work and being very creative and artist. Because I know they kept saying it's not a biopic. It's a musical fantasy, So it's like that, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Who's directing the new Elvis biopic? Yeah. Buzz Luhrmann. Let's see. Love Holly too. Peggy Sue, yeah. Yeah, Peggy's. That's the thing that was so funny about the Buddy Holly story. Like that, I felt like what really ticked me off about like how they like showed how he got famous because they make it seem like he was like the star overnight, actually. And like, okay, like yeah, he performed in a roller rink. You know, he would perform in roller rinks before he got big and stuff like that. But it wasn't like this. But like the DJ wasn't recording him performing "That'll Be the Day." Like it wasn't like they make it seem like "That'll Be the Day" was a live performance. Like no, it wasn't. And it wasn't recorded. And they said because it takes place in 1956. I mean, I know not a lot of people care about that, but That'll Be a Day was recorded in February 1957. So like it's not really like so that's another thing they got wrong too. And like the other thing is they don't mention like Peggy Sue and stuff like that. And also like, another thing, like, you know, they did get the fact right, you know, how it was originally gonna be called Cindy Lou, but in the movie it's Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly's girlfriend is Cindy Lou. But like Buddy Holly did have a girlfriend before his wife, but like his girlfriend wasn't named Cindy Lou. Cindy Lou was actually it was originally gonna be written for because his niece actually, because his niece's name was Cindy Lou. So that's he was going to write it for, but because Jerry Allison, his girlfriend, was named Peggy Sue, he wanted him to change it to that. And yeah, I mean, I will say, like, even though like there's some great scenes of Buddy Holly story, and I do like the scene when they're in the car and they're like, you know, playing like Cindy Lou. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like, yeah, when in the car and he goes like, "Oh, Cindy Lou, Cindy Lou," and then they're all like, and they're like just jamming out in the car and stuff like that. Yeah. Uh, Apparently that was Elton's decision. Didn't he have? Yeah, didn't he have a big part in the direction of it? Yeah, no, he did. Yeah. He totally did. And I get like he wanted it that way and stuff like that. Because you know, like listen, if he wants to do a biopic that way, that's fine. Like, you know, like do fantasy that way. I just feel like if you're really gonna make something, I feel like you do gotta make it or like kind of like true to your life, but I get what he was coming from and stuff like that. And you know, if he wanted it that way and wanted to show it, because you know, I mean, listen, it is showing his life, but the problem is with that too is when you have a movie and when there's entertainment, you gotta. I guess some people feel like the story would flow better if certain facts are wrong. Like for instance, like in Rocket Man, like they make it seem like "Don't Go Breaking My Heart" was recorded in '72 when it was actually recorded in '76 when Elton John was already like the biggest star. And also that's like another thing, like with Queen, for instance, when they did "We Will Rock You" in the movie, they say it takes place in 1980, but it actually the song was recorded in 1977. So you know, like and the thing that pissed me off was they knew that, but they wanted to make it because they thought it fit with the story. And I'm like, you can make it fit with the story if you actually do the actual facts. I'm sorry, but it just ticks me off. You know, stick with the facts. Everybody knows it. You can just Google it. You know, that's all it is. Google it. You can find a way to be creative with actual facts. Why can't you do that? I don't get that. All right. Let's see. What's the comments? Okay. He toured with Elvis, Perkins, Cash, and the Carter sisters in 1950. Wait, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, Johnny Cash did. Yeah. And because like in 1955, yeah, like when Elvis toured, yeah, I think he was like the headliner actually at that time. You know, I mean, of course, Elvis, you know, got to start, you know, in some markets in 1954, but of course, he didn't really hit superstardom until '56 with Heartbreak Hotel. And okay, yeah, I agree with you, Tom. It should be true and accurate. Yeah, I mean, like that's how I feel with that stuff. Yeah, and so, however, there are must biofilms that either fall from lazy storytelling with too much going on, like Bohemian Rhapsody, or missing the mark of a performer like The Doors. Oh, are you talking about like with Val Kilmer's The Doors? The Doors biopic was rubbish. In my opinion, they made Morrison look like a drunk druggie the whole time. Thank God that wasn't my first introduction to The Doors. Buddy Holly toured with them. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Like okay. Well, yeah, with The Doors, then I knew there was a biopic. I never saw the biopic. And I mean, I'm not a huge Val Kilmer fan. I mean, I know he played Batman and stuff like that. And I know Val Kilmer is actually known to actually kind of be a hothead too. So it's like, yeah. And I mean, Jim Morrison, I guess, was considered, I guess, could be a hothead and stuff like that. Well, he was Jim Morrison, you know. But yeah, yeah. Buddy Holly did, because Buddy Holly did play with Elvis for a little bit. Like he opened up for Elvis a few times with Buddy Holly had an act with a guy named Bob Montgomery. And there's actually video footage online if you go on YouTube. And I remember like when I first was getting into the 50s music, that was what I found was a clip of Elvis and Buddy Holly mean Elvis behind the stage, and you know it's like a millimeter footage, there's no audio or anything. But you can also see Carl Perkins and Johnny Cash, and it's really cool to check that out. I mean that's like historic. Like, thank God for that person who filmed it. You know, that's really cool. You know, yeah. If you were to make a biopic, who would you do it on, and who would you cast as the artist? Oh God. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm trying to think of. Oh, okay, let me think of a biopic that. All right, I got a few people in mind. For. Okay, so I've been thinking about this for a while. If for what biopic I would want to see on a person. So I've thought of a few people. Well, I always wanted to see a Billy Joel biopic, but the only thing is, like, I really can't figure out who I would think would make a really good Billy Joel. But anyway, so like I'll go with, like, for instance, like with if I ever I want, because I've always wanted to see like a Ricky Nelson biopic. I feel like a Ricky Nelson biopic would be good. Now, of course, he can't. This actor can't play him now because he's much older. But in the '80s, like if they did it, I think like maybe a good choice would honestly have been Matthew Broderick. Honestly, I thought Matthew Broderick might have not been a bad choice for Ricky Nelson. Honestly, that might have been actually pretty good. And So another thing is yeah, and another biopic I was thinking of, which honestly apparently he wanted this too, was Bill Haley. You know, when like I think when Buddy Holly story biopic was coming out, I think he was talking about like he wanted a biopic about him too. You know, and I think it was like it was talked about in like the late '70s, and I think they were thinking of casting Jeff Bridges. Now I think Jeff Bridges honestly would be actually pretty good as Bill Haley, honestly. And yeah, well now I've also said, like, I made this joke to Brian that like I feel like he'd be a little too old to play now. Is if they ever did a biopic on the band The Police, I feel like the best person to play Sting is Neil Patrick Harris, because I mean, come on, he looks so much like him. I feel like, and another artist that I think looks like somebody is with the Beach Boys, for instance, like Dennis Wilson. If you guys know Big Time Rush, the guy Kendall, I feel like Kendall looks so much like Dennis Wilson. You know, yeah. All right, let's see. It's artistic rubbish, entertaining, but does get under my skin at times. Yeah, I mean, no, it's just like I get, like, this is entertainment and this is the movies and stuff like that. I get that. Yeah, like I get that. I get that. No, I totally understand that. And yeah. And yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Zeppelin would be a great biopic. Yeah, no. Oh, of course. Without a doubt, a Zeppelin would be good. Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd would be perfect, honestly. They would be a tremendous biopic. Yeah, like them. Let's see. If you want to see a film that cleverly mocks music biopics, see Walk Hard: The Dewey Cox Story. Huh? I've never seen that actually. I've actually never even heard of that. Huh, interesting. Wow, that's interesting. It's funny because I was taking a history rock and roll class this semester, and this one movie that my professor was talking about I checked it out, was called Crossroads with Ralph Macchio, and it's about, of course, the great blues legend Robert Johnson. And about, like, and apparently, like, in the movie, Ralph Macchio is supposed to find this guy named Willie Brown, because in the song Crossroads he does a song, he mentions a person named Willie Brown. And no, like, I mean, I kind of feel like it's kind of a corny movie, but it's a cool story. But I feel like it's all, I feel like they could have done it a lot better. Oh, thoughts on Jim Croce? Oh, Ryan, are you? Oh, I love Jim Croce. Oh God, I mean, like, the funniest thing about Jim Croce is I actually got into his music around the same time I was getting into '50s music. The people who I was getting into around, like, with the '50s music, I was getting into them. But other artists, yeah, Jim Croce was definitely one of them. Like, of course, even though he was later and, like, even more like early '70s. I mean, God, I mean, he had just some great songs, and an incredible songwriter. He really is. I mean, like, Bad Oliver Brown, You Don't Mess Around with Jim. I mean, like, watching him live just on the guitar, and especially with the guy who he played with, like, they just did a good job. I mean, like, Jim Crow. I mean, the thing that's so sad is, like, he was around, like, he really got successful in 1972, and then '73 he was killed in a plane crash. So it was like he was this big star, and then all of a sudden he's dead, like, and stuff like that. So it's really sad that happened and stuff like that, because he was a really, no, I love Jim Croce's music. And actually, the funny thing is, my grandpa was actually apparently supposed to see Jim Croce one of his shows, and of course, this was after this, of course, he died in the plane crash before. So yeah, it's so underrated and so funny. Oh, who's in it, Tyler? Actually, I wonder who's in that. Yeah, if you never heard of Five Short Minutes, I suggest you check it out. Oh, I never heard of that. Well, that'd be interesting to know what that is. Yeah. Well, it's funny. Videos I've been watching on YouTube, and there's this one guy I've been watching YouTube for a while. His name is JT Curtis, And JT Curtis did the series of the history of rock and roll. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, this guy just hit the hammer on the head. Like this guy, like, did both. Like he impacted like information about rock history with also humor and comedy. I mean, like, this man is my god. I've always been wanting to do that, and I just never could get a chance to do it because it was like, well, no, because like the thing was like when I was in high school, I always had a lot of stuff holding me back for YouTube, and it took me a while to realize what I really wanted to do on YouTube and stuff like that. And I realize now that like my main passion to talk about is music and stuff like that, and rock. So I realized that's why on this channel I want to talk more about rock, and it is thanks to people like JT Curtis and other channels I watch, like the Holly Hobbs or Polyphonic or Rock History Music, with John Bowden, like this DJ from Canada. And like these people have inspired me to honestly keep going and, talk about music and make that like, a hobby on YouTube and just make that my niche. And honestly, so yeah, no, JT Curtis is incredible. I think he's a really funny YouTuber. Yeah, if you haven't got a chance to check him out, really, he's really good. Like for instance, like George Harrison, he's doing he's doing a review on George Harrison's solo albums, and it's actually really good because it's like, of course I'm a huge Beatles fan, but with the solo Beatles artists, I'm not like the solo. Of course I know their solo stuff, but I don't know all their stuff. And I'll be honest, like I'm like my goal is, and I have it on vinyl. Like it's an old record of my dad's that he has, is All Things Must Pass. I know, like of course, if certain songs on All Things Must Pass, but I really got to listen to the full album, honestly. And I was gonna find it on like Amazon Music, but the problem is they keep like the bonus tracks get in the middle of the original track list. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to listen on vinyl because that's the way you should probably listen to it, Oh, Polyphonic. Oh yeah, I love Polyphonic. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. If you Polyphonic is great. I love Polyphonic. And let's see, it stars John C. John C. Reilly. Oh, I love him. It looks like a real biopic, follows the same formula as one, but doesn't hold back, making fun of its cliches and all over the top fashion. That's interesting. Yeah. And yeah. Now, so what I've been thinking of, I also want to talk about like what I was thinking of doing like with YouTube and stuff like that. With one of my plans is to talk about is like I was thinking of doing videos talking about like the band The Police and actually starting to do more about them, like and going into a whole series about their albums and reviewing them and stuff like that. Because this week I've been listening to some stuff because I listened to all the Police albums, but the Police album I was able to fully listen to this week was their last album, Synchronicity, which is known as like one of their greatest albums. I think Synchronicity is actually pretty good too. Another video series I want to do on a group would be Cream, Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker, and also I'd maybe want to follow more about Eric Clapton's solo stuff, of course his stuff with Derek and the Dominoes. I was also listening to that album, Layla, and other sort of love songs. There's so many good songs. Like the songs I really love on Layla and sort of Layla is of course Layla, of course, but Bell Bottom Blues. That's really and good. And of course, we should probably talk about, the meaning behind this whole album, like was, Eric Clapton had an obsession for George Harrison's wife, Pattie Boyd, and the whole album is dedicated as a love letter to her, and especially with Bell Bottom Blues, Layla, what? It's so funny. Like I was listening to this song, "Have You Ever Loved a Woman?" that's on the album, and I thought like maybe he wrote it, but it's actually a cover he did, and the lyrics are just so representative to how I guess he was feeling. It's like she belongs, like lyrics like she belongs to your very best friend, and stuff like that. So wow, I think that's a really Layla's a really good album, and the Police album Synchronicity. Like I've listened to that, and the song I really started to really like on it was Miss Gerdenka, which was a song written by Stuart Copeland. I think that's actually pretty good, and I like, of course, Every Breath You Take is on, so that's a great song. Kid of Pain is also okay, that's also pretty good. I'm trying to think of another one. Walk in Your Footsteps, so right. There's some songs that are like okay, but like songs that like I think a song that really helps the pace of it is I like the opening, how they open it with Synchronicity, with the synth driven, track. I think that's really cool how they do that. It almost reminds you of like the Doors, like Break On Through the Air. It's like bum 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 bum, or like Tequila, from the Champs, and stuff like that. So it reminds me of that stuff too, and yeah, no. But a song on Synchronicity I really like is "Murder by Numbers." That's actually a really good song. Yeah. Murder by Numbers is actually pretty good. It's what ends the album and stuff like that, and that's a really good song. Let's see. Okay. The scene with the Beatles is hilarious. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta check this out now. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it's great out. Oh, I guess yeah, Synchronicity. Let's see. Yes, and the one with Elvis showing off his karate moves. Jack White played Elvis, right? Okay. JT Curtis. Yeah, is awesome. My favorite of his was 60s and 80s. Oh yeah, the history of rock with the 60s and 80s. I mean, he really does a good job at like representing these stuff, and like he has like inside jokes. For instance, like with certain bands, it's like Led Zeppelin. Some of you may have heard of them, or the Beatles. Some of you may have heard of them. Like they do like these jokes, and yeah. Wait, I wonder what time was message got retracted. That's weird. I don't know. I feel like YouTube is weird with this stuff. Oh god. Let's see. Why don't show some of the vinyl you have on you? Well, I actually do have some vinyl stuff, and I could actually, take it out. I mean, I could maybe. I mean, like, they're all the way downstairs, so maybe. I mean, maybe that'd be good for like another time or something like that. Maybe for like my next live stream, I'll do. Maybe I'll show some of my vinyls actually, and do that as a collection, and show some of that of what I have and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, and yeah, I've been listening to that. I've been listening to also this week the Eric Clapton solo album Slow Hand, with songs like Cocaine, Lay Down Sally, You Look Wonderful Tonight, which is also about Patty Boyd, but this time he was actually married to Patty Boyd, and or was with her at that time, and then there was yeah, then another solo album I was listening to was Stin's solo album. I think was a Sea of the Blue Turtles or something like that. And I'm actually thinking of doing a video review of that album because like I want to show you my opinions. I'm not gonna give it away now because I feel like I'd rather do it in a review. But I feel like once I listen to that album, I feel like that might be a good video to show a review for. So I'm not gonna give you an indication if I liked it or hated it yet. Like you're gonna have to find it out when I do the video. So yeah. Let's see. You would also like Rick Beato, Tom. He is on YouTube and discusses music in detail too. All right, Rick Beato. Okay, I'll check this. I'm gonna check this all out. I'm gonna check this. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, like of course, like the main YouTubers I watch for that stuff is like Holly Hobbs, Polyphonic, JT Curtis, Rock History Music. John Bone's actually pretty good because it's like he interviews like certain music artists too. I mean, certain music artists, I'll admit, like the one thing that really attracted me to his channel was that he was a big Elton John fan. I'm like, okay, that's cool, because I love Elton John, so it was like Elton John's like favorite artist, so I thought like, oh yeah, sure, that's pretty cool, yeah, so like, but yeah, no, so he's a huge fan of him. But he's also an artist I'm not really into that much, like Genesis and stuff like that, or Rush. I never really could get into them. And then maybe, I can always try them out and stuff like that. It is hard for me, I feel like, to really get into an artist. Of course, there's songs I love, but it really gets hard for me to really, because for me to listen to an artist, I gotta fall in love with that artist. Honestly, I gotta fall in love with the group. I gotta be like really in love with their music, in order to really listen and appreciate like a full album of theirs, or listen to an album's work instead of just listening to a bunch of singles from them, and stuff like that. And so I have a certain music catalog of people I like and stuff like that, especially in the '70s. Of course, like my favorite artists from the '70s would probably be Elton John, Billy Joel. I mean, Elton John for me, because the thing about Elton John is that like he came out at a time when around the Beatles were breaking up, so he came out at the perfect time, especially with the Elton John album, and with your song on it, he came at a perfect time. He was really, I mean, of course he was like the biggest. I would say he was up there with Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. They were, and then of course Billy Joel came later in the '70s, and he was making some great stuff. And I guess that Billy Joel was always considered Elton John's counterpart. I guess he could be considered like the American Elton John, and stuff like that, but like the thing that's interesting because their styles are like, even though they're both piano players, they definitely have like catalog that just is like they really have their own voice and stuff like that. And you can tell I honestly feel like Elton John and Billy Joel, you can tell the Beatles influence. And I feel like Elton John's influence in the Beatles is more related to like John's music and stuff like that, John Lennon's music. When Billy Joel has more of like a Paul McCartney kind of style in his music and stuff like that when he sings. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah. All right, let's see other comments. Yeah. Let's see. I love that film purposely, poorly cast Elvis and the Beatles. It's supposed to make fun of how other artists being impersonated in a music biofilm aren't usually as convincing as the star. By the way, just subscribe to your channel. Okay. Oh yeah. No, yeah. Check out Ryan's channel too. Yeah, like TCB Productions. You know, he does a lot of stuff about Elvis. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing that was great when I got the chance to meet Elvis. Meet Elvis. God, I wish I got to meet Elvis. Well, but I know when I got to meet Ryan, like he's a huge Elvis fan too, you know, and stuff like that. And yeah, and so is Tyler, of course, you know. Yeah, so it's like yeah, no, it's great that I'm finding these people that are into that stuff, you know, and it's great, you know, because it's so it's so hard to find people in music who are into that stuff. Because I hate like when there's people saying like, oh, I'm into rap, like, oh, you should listen to Post Malone, you know, like Drake's God, or like oh my God, you know, like really, it's like yeah. I hate that so much, honestly, because it's like I'm honestly thinking of maybe doing a video, also doing a YouTube stuff about current artists I like, because there are some artists from this decade that I like that I think are actually pretty good. You know, like I think I like Bruno Mars. I think Bruno Mars is pretty good. Justin Timberlake's okay. Ed Sheeran, I would say, is actually pretty good. Another artist who I listen to some of his songs with, I want to listen to more of his stuff. Probably Andy Grammer, Andy Grammer, like, because I was listening to his song, "You Got to Keep Your Head Up," and I think he's actually, from what I've heard of him, he seems like he does pretty good songs. So I think he's actually really pretty good artist, And so I was thinking maybe to talk about that. Other artists like from 2000s that I like, I like Maroon 5. I think Maroon 5 is actually pretty good. I think I'm not a huge fan of their stuff now, I think like their stuff from Songs About James to their last album, I think like their third album, Hands All Over. I think that was pretty good. Once Moves Like Jagger came out, like I gotta say, I liked the song, but I felt like they just got too commercial for me. And then Payphone was good, and stuff like that. And some of the songs on V, like Sugar, I actually really liked. But their last album they put out, like Red Blues, like God, like every song I heard on that album, I hated it. Like honestly, like their song "Girls Like You," I think that might be their worst song they ever did. Like, oh my God, it was just I couldn't believe that. Like, I felt like that was like one of their like worst songs, and it was just like, damn, And okay. So yeah, we got 6 people watching this. So all right, let's see. So we got a few more. Yeah, so we got 2 more people watching this. Who else is watching this? Definitely comment and get questions. Oh, we got 7 people watching now. Oh, all right. Hot dog. Yeah. All right, let's see. Oh, Tony. Okay. Of course, I knew Tony. If of course you were gonna be on, you were gonna say something random. I knew it. I just knew it. All right, let's see. Of course. Oh, I guess it just shows the curse. I guess it like asks you want to show the curse word stuff before. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and no. So oh yeah, of course. How can you do that, Tony? Oh God. Oh my God, I don't know with you, Tony. So yeah, no, yeah, like that's so my plan on YouTube next. I think for me for videos would probably be talking about the Police, honestly, and doing that because I really got more into their music and I thought their music was actually really great. And I honestly think honestly, what I love about the Police is I think certainly with bands too. There's when every member of the band is talented, it's good, like I think for instance like Sting, for instance, is a great front man, but also Stuart Copeland's also a great drummer. Andy Summers is a great guitarist. I mean, of course, Sting carried it with his with his songwriting and his his singing voice. The thing about Sting too is I honestly think he actually is a really cool frontman, and especially the way he sings, and stuff like that. Like the way he does sounds like every little thing she does is magic. Like he just has a great voice. I think he has a good style. Now I will admit, like which I will lead to more in the reviews, but I do think that like Sting honestly had a better career with the Police than he did as a solo artist, which I think like maybe I'll like go more into that with YouTube. And I honestly think like I know some people maybe hate me for saying this, but like because like I love Cream, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like some of their stuff honestly is not as like I lose interest with some of their music than some other artists, like maybe like the Police or something like that. Like because like I honestly think like maybe Eric Clapton honestly was probably even better at like had better solo stuff than Cream. I mean, not that Cream wasn't a good band. I mean, Cream was a great band, and that was the thing because Cream you had like these three great musicians, you know. You got Eric Clapton as a great guitarist, Jack Bruce is a great bassist and singer, you know, and Ginger Baker as like that drumming, you know, especially on Sunshine for Love, like bum, 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 bum. He's going all over like bum, 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 bum. Yeah. I just love that, you know, and stuff like that. And no, so yeah. Now, all right, let's see. It's 49 minutes, so I'm trying to make this like an hour, and then we'll end for an hour. I feel like we're going on a good track here. I'll make this for about like an hour, and then I'll stop. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, no, like I mean, I'm actually happy with how this live stream has turned out. I did say that I'm gonna do this next week as well. I might stop this if it looks like not a lot of people are coming on and stuff like that, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, it's great, you know, certain people coming on. I mean, I'll feel it out, you know, because I feel like I do like, you know, like the people that are coming on. I think it's great, you know, like I feel like we're having a good discussion. So, you know, hopefully we can keep that up. Maybe I can keep doing this and stuff like that. Maybe like maybe I'll have a purpose to keep doing this and keep, talking and stuff like that. So yeah, like maybe for like another video, what Anthony was saying, maybe I will show my vinyl stuff because I was thinking maybe I'll do it for YouTube videos, like, but like, maybe I can show. Maybe I'll do vinyl stuff. Like I'll show some of my vinyl stuff. That's actually not a bad idea. That might actually be good for a live stream, honestly, to do that. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, on your YouTube channel. Yeah. With the Elvis stuff. Yeah. No, I mean, like I was saying, right. I mean, it'd be really cool if we could ever collaborate on music and stuff like that, and talk about stuff like that. Because I mean, Ryan, I know you're such a huge Elvis fan, but you'd be really good impact on that. And hey, I could help you out with your channel and stuff like that. And all that stuff as well. Let's see. Anthony, most of the artists that I listen to, rock, hip hop, rap, R&B, soul, jazz, classical, it's mostly from before the 2000s. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I feel like I wanted to try to listen to more of like the 2000s stuff because, it's my time period. Like, I want to get more into this music, but it's really lousy. I mean, like, it's not as good. Like, like my dad was lucky. He was listening to the 70s and 60s music when he was growing up. I mean, like my dad is almost 62, and he was able to listen. Like when I was a little kid and I was listening to the Beatles, like that's what my dad was doing. Because my dad and I are 40 years apart, and like my dad was listening to the Beatles music when the Beatles were still around. I mean, that's really freaking cool. And it's just like I wish I got to experience that. And it sucks that I mean, like it's great that that I'm in a lifetime where I'm actually in the same lifetime as Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. And I actually have gotten to see Paul McCartney live. I've never gotten to see Ringo live. I definitely want to see Ringo live. I definitely gotta get a chance to see him live. I saw Paul McCartney live in 2011 with my dad. And it was at Yankee Stadium, and that was, I mean, hell of a show. I mean, to be honest, I've only went to 3 concerts in my life, actually. My first concert was when I was 7 years old. I saw John Fogerty and Willie Nelson, and and that was at Jones Beach. And the other, and then of course, then a few years later, I saw Paul McCartney, and then about a year ago, I saw Elton John live. And so and all right, let's see. Okay, no, I think my dad's coming home and stuff like that, so he's walking in. Yeah. All right. So okay, it is 52 minutes. So I'll keep just going on for a few more minutes. And yes, oh, my dad's walking in now. So So all right. I have another discussion that I kind of actually want to talk about, which would maybe boost the chat up a little, maybe get some of the comments flowing and stuff like that. So for instance, I was thinking lately, like with music, for instance, especially when how we were talking about the 2000s. I think that honestly, it really is hard to find music in 2000s that I can like and stuff like that. And one thing I was thinking of that I was showing my friends about 2 months ago was, when I was little, I used to watch American Idol. I thought American Idol was good. It was like one of the first singing competition shows. I thought and it was really good. I thought I love the judges like Randy Jackson, Paul Simon. What is wrong with me today? Simon Cowell. and then Paul Abdul, and no, so yeah, no. So like, what I was thinking was with that is they at that time when I was watching American Idol, because I watched it when it was like the fourth season when Carrie Underwood won, and like I just really got like more like I lost interest in it after a while. Like the first few times I watched it, and sorry, I know, right? Oh my god, yeah, no, yeah, no, like. I lost interest for a while. Like I remember I was looking up on YouTube American Idol certain clips. Like I loved Chris Daughtry. I thought Chris Daughtry was actually pretty good. But one guy I really liked who didn't win, like Jordan Sparks was the one that won that year, but the guy who came in second was Blake Lewis, his name was, and he was an incredible musician. And that's the thing that's sad about American Idol. Some of these guys were really good. Like you don't know what happened to them, honestly. And I honestly think, for instance, like Blake Lewis was actually pretty good because he was really well known. Because I remember in my elementary school, people always talk about American Idol, like these people that were on. And Blake Lewis, people talked about how his beatboxing. His beatboxing was incredible. It's like, oh, did you see him beatbox? And I remember I saw on YouTube the other day. I came across when I watched him on TV when I was like 7 or 8, and like I remember when he performed "This Love" by Maroon 5, and I thought he did it like really good and stuff like that. And I think the thing is, American Idol was good. I think the problem with music in the 2000s was the reality TV in a sense like that. It's not the musician's fault for entering it, but it's just it just shows you how more commercial this music industry is now. And the problems I have with it too, with the 2000s, is these big stars that we have all originated on children's TV shows. Like for instance, to forward now to Ariana Grande, who's the biggest pop star. She got her start on Nickelodeon, Victorious, which, okay, I'll admit, I love that show. Victorious is good. I'm actually rewatching on Netflix. Okay, side story. But anyway, no. I just feel though with with certain stuff what I don't like about the 2000s music is that I feel like it's so being revolutionized and being popular by the by the teen stars, for instance, with the Jonas Brothers, for instance with them, I just I lost, there was a time when I was little for a few minutes, I was for a few months I was into the Jonas Brothers, and then I got out of that phase very quickly. I got out of that phase completely because I thought okay, they were okay, but so I feel like they're just they just weren't that. They weren't that for me either, because I realized these are the musicians that we're getting that are really popular. Yeah, Liz Gillies is my wife. Oh my god, yeah. Oh god, you gotta love Liz Gillies. Yeah, no, but yeah, what I was saying is that's the problem I feel that what the 2000s had with TV. TV more I feel destroyed music in a sense, especially with Disney, with the Disney stars, and stuff like that. Like Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, they all got their start on Disney. It's it's harder for musicians now to start fresh because it's you got to be on a TV show. I feel in order to be to have a career in music before you can be big. Even with Drake when he, I think, started on Degrassi. I feel it's ridiculous. It's it's not what it used to be where you just started off, into the recording industry without being an actor and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with people being an actor and being a musician, but I just think it's nice to have some people just start off fresh and being a musician and stuff like that, and stuff like that, and starting with that instead of just acting. And another problem I had with 2000s, which I feel it being commercial, is Kids Bop. Kids Bop is so okay, I'll admit I did get me about 1 or 2 Kids Bop albums, and okay, and they played and Kids Bop was basically kids singing music famous songs of the 2000s around that time. But it's just Kids Bop destroyed, I feel those songs too, because I feel the problem is they just overplayed that music by doing it, by having kids sing it now. It's like, I feel like songs just can get ruined when like it's played too much, or when it's overplayed, or when it's, too out there and stuff like that, and it just keeps going over and over again. Yeah, Kids Bop is junk. I mean, yeah, it's just like Kids Bop just like, just is garbage to the music. It just like adds trash to it, honestly. And that's what I don't like about it. And I guess Kids Pop is still, they still do it, but I don't know. So I don't know that stuff, but like, yeah. And all right, it's 15 minutes. All right, yeah, I have one more discussion I'll talk about and I'll be like, I'll talk about a little bit about like with my a little stuff about with YouTube channel, and maybe a little bit of stuff that I'm interested in talking about in the future. Like for instance, like with the, I'm glad that lately, I mean, even though with what's going on with this virus, like the one thing that's good about it in a sense is that I've been able to realize that I can make more videos and have more ideas and stuff like that. And I'm really happy about that I've been able to do that more, honestly. And I'm really excited that I'm able to, come up with more ideas and actually find out what I want to do, which is talk about music, Like, I made about, 7 videos this year. I mean, one video was not related to music. It was that vlog I did. But the other stuff, of course, I made was all related to music. Like, the first video I did of this year was talk about Drake Bell's music. Then I mean, of course, I'll admit I did a lot of stuff about the Beatles, and most of the rest of the music videos I did about music was the Beatles. But like, I mean, I do have an idea of what I want to do with certain Beatles music, and like I'm gonna probably maybe take a break from talking about the Beatles and then move into other artists like the Police and stuff like that. And I have a few other artists that I'm not gonna mention right now because I feel like I want to like get that ready before I start talking about it and stuff like that. Maybe I'll mention the next live stream and stuff like that. But like for instance, like with certain songs like like for instance, like the videos that I were proud of doing, like that really got me wanting to talk about it was like, for instance, like it was just stuff that came to my mind. Like for instance, like I remember when I was listening to Jungkook's Rock and Roll album, and it came to my mind an album. And I thought, why not do a video talk about that album? Because that album's pretty good. So I thought I'll do that. And I'm like, then why not talk about the Beatles covers? That's pretty good. And then I started just getting on a roll talking about like, oh, what about, the Yellow Submarine soundtrack album? Because, I listened to that as a little, I felt like talking about stuff from my childhood in music, talking about that stuff before I talk about, stuff about how I feel now with music, bringing that music back to my past and stuff like from my past and talking about that, and music I've thought of talking about, but like, I feel like there's some music stuff I really have to feel like I need to do it justice. Like for instance, I have thought about doing a video about the Traveling Wilburys and stuff like that. Because like I mean that's like one of the best super groups out there. Of course with George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, Roy Orbison. And I mean like of course like I've also thought of like talking about that. I've also thought of talking about like the Beatles compilation album that came out when I was like in second grade when I was really into the Beatles was the Love album, which was like a remix of their songs and putting a new spin on them and recording them, making medleys of them together and stuff like that. So yeah, I was thinking maybe I'll do a video, but I mean that's more in the future and stuff like that. That's more. I have like a few other video ideas before I do that, but yeah. Yeah. Great, super great. That. Oh, Asia. Oh, okay, now. That was the super group. That was the one that did Heat of the Moment, right? Who was in that? Who's in Asia? I'm actually interested in seeing who's in that. All right, let's see. Did you know that Selena Gomez was on Barney about going back to your artist starting out from the childhood? Oh yeah. Barney, yeah. She had she was on Barney, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. They did do Heat of the Moment. I love that song. It was the heat of the moment. Telling me what your heart did, heat of the moment, shining in your eyes. And no, it's just like with that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think like Traveling Wilburys is great. I mean, I remember when I listened to the album when I was like, I listened to it one time like like one summer throughout, and I just loved it. I mean, like, of course, like my favorite songs on the album are like. I guess like could be cliches as Handle with Care and End of the Line, the most greatest songs on the album. I mean, Handle with Care is just such it's a great George song, and stuff like that. It's really good with that, and yeah, that's pretty much yeah. So I think I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up soon. And yeah. Oh, you have to go too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm gonna wrap up this video. And I just want to thank for the people that are watching this. And I think for the most part, it went pretty well. I think. And I'm gonna do this next week. And we'll see how this keeps going. If this can go into if we can keep doing this every week and stuff like that, and trying it out, especially with everything that's going on with the virus, like maybe, this would be a good way to communicate with people and to have, group discussions and all that, and stuff like that. So I think to all the people that came on, this video will be on YouTube. So, you will be able to keep watching it. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay safe, be well, wash your hands, and yeah, hit that bell notification, hit that thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button. Okay, yeah. Thank you guys, and see you guys in the next video. Bye. Okay, let's see. Take care, stay safe. God bless you all, everyone. All right, bye, everyone. Love you all very much.